And out front now, Mark Regev, the senior advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. And Mark, I appreciate your time. You just heard Yoni Asher. Of course, it's been over 6 weeks since he saw his wife and his 2 little girls. And he says his message to you is that there is no winning this war without the return of the hostages. He says there's no future for Israel without the return of the hostages. And he says that the people of Israel will not trust the Israeli government if the hostages aren't returned. What do you say to him?
First of all, we have to hug him. We have to support him. One can only imagine the pain he's going through, having his wife and children kidnapped. I can't think of anything worse that could happen to someone, especially knowing who has done the kidnapping. This brutal terrorist organization that committed the most gruesome violence against Israeli citizens on October 7th. So one has to feel for this man. One has to support him. One has to do whatever one can to help him.
Mark, in terms of the hostages themselves, though, President Biden says he does believe a deal is close to release some of them, children among them, perhaps Raz and Aviv. CNN's reported negotiators have been working on a possible deal that would involve a 4 to 5 day pause in fighting in exchange for the release of those hostages. Look, I understand you can't share details. Yoni was saying he understands you can't share details. But can you say if you are close to a real deal now?
So I don't know the answer to that question because it's not done until it's done. And being close doesn't help you. You need to get the hostages out. And I can only say the following, Aaron. We will agree, and we will only agree, to a temporary ceasefire in Gaza for the release of our hostages. And we've been hitting Hamas hard. But if Hamas, as I said, is hurting and hurting badly, I think that increases our chances of getting people out.
Mark, I want to ask you something, and it involves showing viewers something that I've described on this show, but we have not aired it on CNN until now, and I'm airing it for your response. It's an animated video, Mark, that was released by the IDF of what Israel says shows Hamas's operations in Gaza underneath the Al-Shifa hospital. In it, you see lit tunnels, armed fighters, a meeting room possibly for Hamas. There's a rug in there, chairs, a flag. This animation was released 3 weeks ago. So far, Mark, it does not match the actual videos that Israel has released, which look like this one. It's a video of what Israel's put out. It says that you say this is an underground Hamas tunnel shaft at the hospital, deep below ground. The video goes on to show the inside of the tunnel until it reaches a closed door. Look, it's a tunnel. For sure, that we can see. We see someone walking down it, but it does not match your animation at this point. Are there videos coming that will support the allegations that Israel has made in this animation?
In a word, Aaron, yes. We will be providing more and more information. I hope we can actually have a CNN crew go down into the tunnel network. But we've got to be cautious. We're concerned about booby traps. We're concerned for the life of our soldiers. And we have to do this slowly. We have to do this judiciously. We have no doubt whatsoever about the subterranean network of tunnels under Gaza City, under the hospital. It's a matter of time. We'll be releasing every day more information when we have it. We've been doing so. We will continue to do so. So I would just say, Aaron, patience. In the end, Hamas's subterranean terror network, its network of tunnels and underground fortifications and rocket launching sites and arms depots, all that will be made public and will be destroyed. But before we destroy it, of course, we want people to see what was there.
Well, the former Prime Minister Barak today told CNN something very interesting in this context. He actually said, Mark, that he knows there are bunkers under the Al-Shifa hospital because Israel built them. He says that Israel built what's under there, and initially he said it was for hospital use to support the Al-Shifa hospital at the time. He said it was built decades ago. But back to that animation that shows Hamas fighters inside what look like conference rooms, video screens. Do you know that the network is being used as you portray it? And is the reason that you're so confident about how it looks because you built it?
So first of all, we didn't build the hospital. The hospital was built by the British when they were ruling this part of the world in the 1940s. Afterwards, in the early 1980s, when Israel was ruling the Gaza Strip, we actually made renovations, and we did actually build basements which were for the medical purposes, for the hospital, for storage facilities and other things for their medical equipment. What happened under Hamas is that they turned some of those basement areas into underground for them as part of their war machine, for their command and control. And then they built, it wasn't there before, they dug out these tunnels, these special fortifications under the ground are what we showed already. And CNN has seen this, the tunnel that goes down, what is it, 10 yards, and then it reaches this underground complex, which is still locked, but we'll be able to show,
the door, yeah.
I believe, in the coming days. So what Hamas did is they used the existing basements, apparently, for their command and control, and through the tunnel network, they could send orders and instructions and fighters to their network of underground tunnels. So there's no contradiction. We knew all this.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you very much. I appreciate your taking the time joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.